Sometimes these people disappear from the limelight and you think, oh, they're probably just, living a quiet little life. But sometimes people are going through some things, like just like we just saw with Luton Shelton, with ALS and his fight there, and now with Gaza Indu and her cancer fight. You just never know what life is going to bring. Welcome back to the channel, J lovers across the world. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. I would appreciate you being a part of this journey with me, and I would really appreciate your support. Today's video is about probably a long forgotten member of the former Portmore Empire group that was formed by Vybz Kartel, Gaza Indu. So Gaza Indu is probably most remembered for singing that song, or a part of that song, Cartel Come Breed Me. I mean, that is like a part of reggae history, dancehall history, right? So she was a part of the Portmore Empire, which Vybz Kartel formed around 2007 after leaving Bounty Killers Alliance, and the group was disbanded in 2012 while Vybz Kartel was behind bars. And even before that, some prominent members had left. Folks will probably remember folks like Black Rhino, Popcorn, Not Nice, Gaza Slim, Gaza Indu, Tommy Lee Sparta, Marital Family, Ja Vinci, Lisa Hyper, and more people. They were a part of this group of people who were affiliated with Vybz Kartel. Some of them had fallen out with him. Others, left after, he went to prison, and the group was just kind of, I guess, missing its godfather. But since then, they've gone on to varying levels of success. Most notably, obviously, Popcorn is now an international superstar. Some of the other ones, Tommy Lee, continue to have success. But folks like Gaza Indu kind of disappeared off the radar. And so I was looking through the Jamaica Star today, and I saw an article around where has Gaza Indu been. The series is entitled Where Them Up To. Gaza Indu Beats Cancer. Entertainer talks about her battle for life. So I won't read the story word for word, but essentially she gave birth to twins in 2014. So she's a mother of four. She had two other children prior to that. During her pregnancy, they found during an ultrasound that she had a mass on her cervix. And so she was very concerned, obviously. But then she had the baby, and she was like, okay, she felt a little bit of relief, and the babies were healthy. But then 3 months later, she began to experience non-stop vaginal bleeding, and the doctors recommended various tests, including a biopsy. So I'm reading from the article here. It says, the bleeding lasted for about 6 months straight, every single day, Gaza Indu said. It was uncomfortable and made me weak. I had to get fluids and blood transfusion constantly. And so, after she had her twin, she did not return to the hospital for any treatment, but she was haunted by fear of her four children growing up with her. And then one day she realized that she could not move. The twins were about a few months old, and she called her mom and she said, if you don't take me to a doctor or hospital, you will lose me. And they took her to the hospital and examined her, and they said it was cervical cancer, and that she had some options, which included doing a hysterectomy to remove her womb, and that was around $450,000. Which, I mean, after you've had four children, I guess the thought of a hysterectomy might not be that terrifying. But a hysterectomy is still a big surgery, and you lose a significant part of your female organs while doing that. So they later confirmed at the KPH, the Kingston Public Hospital, that she had stage 2 cervical cancer. And so she started getting scared when she heard everybody talk about the side effects of chemotherapy and radiation and how it's poison to the body. She's going to be getting easy infections, organ damage, and hair loss. And she was thinking, oh my God, she's going to die. So she chose once again not to start treatment, and she didn't return to the hospital until 2016, 2 years later, by which time the cancer had progressed to stage 3. And at that time, she also found out that her father had been diagnosed with that prostate cancer. And so at this point now, she realizes this cancer is not going to go away on its own. I can't just ignore it. I have to do something. So she started to do the chemotherapy and radiation treatment, which was very damaging. She lost over 50 pounds in a few months. And as folks can remember, she wasn't the fattest person to begin with. She said she reached out to some people within the music industry, but only few people helped her. Kimberly Mays, girlfriend of the late selector Nico Chromatic, Gaza Sheba, and her doctor, Dr. Kian Smith, gave emotional support. And really, she said she has not recorded any music since 2015. But if she writes any new material, it will affect her battle with cancer and have a positive message for her listeners, which she's probably one of the luckiest people. I mean, she got cancer. She ignored it for years and it progressed. And somehow, at the last MRI that she did in August, it showed that she was cancer free. So she says this thing they call cancer, from breast to cervical to prostate, is taking down persons so fast, and I want to be able to provide emotional support to others because that's what cancer patients need the most, she said. My father did his surgery while I was undergoing the last phase of treatment. One of my aunts is also a survivor of breast cancer. And so I think there's multiple messages in here for us as a Jamaican people. We all are familiar with the fact that most of our people, especially our men, and not just Jamaican men, but men in general, don't like to go to the doctor. They don't like to hear that anything is wrong with them. But you can see here that almost for any disease you can think about, early detection and management is key. You know, had she probably acted 2 years before she did, she probably would have had less side effects, less chemotherapy and radiation needed. But instead of like going ahead and attacking it the moment she found out, she kind of waited around and, you know, was very scared. And it's understandable that she would be scared, but that's not going to help the picture, right? Kind of putting your head in the sand is not going to get rid of something like cancer. And then on top of that, I think, you know, as you think about cervical cancer and the rates at which it's increasing in the society, and the fact that it's connected to the HPV virus, which is something that there is now a vaccine for, I think that's something that, you know, we have an opportunity to address. Number one, with our children that are growing up, I think if we start vaccinating them against this virus, it could help to reduce the rates in the future, because majority of sexually active adults have had some exposure to HPV. And so if we start with the children, that's a way to kind of reduce its incidence in the future. I know there's a lot of people who are very skeptical of vaccines. I myself, I had to get the vaccine as a part of becoming a US resident. Back when I became a resident, it was required for females under a certain age to get it. So if I wanted a green card, I had no choice but to do it. But I understand that, you know, other people were a little bit skeptical about vaccines and what may be in them. But some of these vaccines are really intended to save your lives. Not only that, besides vaccines, I think obviously with regards to like constantly staying on top of your health, going for your annual physical, making sure that every year you're going to your regular kind of PCP, primary care physician type doctor, getting your blood work done, check your cholesterol, your blood sugar, check all your various balances, and, you know, whatever, that, you know, there's nothing glaringly wrong happening in your body. And then for women, it's also essential that you go to your female doctor, so your gynecologist, who is going to be checking to see whether or not there's anything going on with your breast, with your cervix. They're going to be doing their pap smears and things like that. I think we have to take our health in hand, because it's the only thing, our bodies and our health, that's the only thing that, you know, has a capability to determine the quality of life that we have. If you don't have health, you don't have anything else. Like, really, without the ability to get up every day and enjoy life, I mean, you'll be pretty miserable. So I would say, you know, this should be a lesson to us as Jamaicans to take our health very seriously. I'm very happy to hear that Gaza Slim seems to have beat cancer. I know cancer is a monster. Sometimes you seem to be in remission and then it comes back like crazy. I'm really hoping that is not the case with Gaza Indu, and that she gets to live a very long life and gets to be there for her children, the twins, who should be around 4 years old now, if I'm calculating correctly. So glad to hear that this story has a happy ending for her. But, you know, it's also just kind of a a reminder that sometimes when people are out of the limelight, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, them just drop off or whatever. Sometimes they're going through some real serious things, and this woman was going through a serious battle for her life. So happy that she made it. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you are not yet a subscriber, once again, I would ask that you please show your support by subscribing. I won't even ask you to hit the notification bell yet. As a new channel, I would just really appreciate if you would click subscribe and stick around in the JA Lover community. Much more good content coming up. And until next time, take care of yourself.